Hello again, guys. It's Mr. Wishahi, and this video is going to be about solving two-step equations. It's called two-step equations because you're going to be doing two different math operations. What I mean by that is add, subtract, divide, or multiply. You're going to do two different math operations. We got an equation. We got 8y plus 16 equals 48. Your ultimate goal whenever solving an equation is you want to know, well, what is y equal to? What's being multiplied to 8? And then add 16, that equals 48. That's ultimately what you're doing when you're solving an equation. Okay. Although it's called a two-step equation, I like to add a couple more steps, but you're going to see that those steps are really quick and they're really important. So, step one, I do something called a train track. What I mean by that is I like to go to my equal sign and draw a line splitting both sides. I've got a left side and a right side. That way I organize my thoughts knowing that whatever I do on the left side I have to do on my right side. Okay. Step two, you're going to remove all constants from one side. What I mean by that is a constant is anything that is being added or subtracted. So it doesn't have a number or a letter attached to it. So right here, if you notice that plus 16, that's going to be our constant that we want to remove. That's what's being added or subtracted. So I'm thinking, okay, plus 16, what is the opposite, or better yet, the inverse operation of adding? Well, that's going to be subtracting. And I'm going to subtract 16 because I want to take that 16 away. And since I subtracted 16 from the left side, I have to subtract 16 from the right side. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. That's where that train track comes in handy. 48 minus 16, that gets you 32. I'm going to drop down this 8y because I still have not done anything with it. Excuse me. So that's step two. Oops, right there. Step three, I'm going to remove coefficients by either dividing or multiplying. That may be a new word for a lot of you guys, coefficient. Coefficient, that's the number that's attached to your letter, or that's multiplying or dividing your variable. So here I've got 8y, which is the same as 8 times y, or 8 multiples of y. So again, think opposite operations. What is the opposite of multiplying? Well, it's division. So that means if I'm multiplying by 8, I undo that by dividing by 8. And this 8 divided by 8 equals 1. So you just have 1y. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Since I divided by 8 on the left, I have to divide by 8 on the right. 32 divided by 8, we'll count by 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32, 4. So we think y equals 4. Remember, two-step equation, but I said I was going to add a couple more steps. This is, in my opinion, is the most important. Step 4, quick check. Check your work. Take that extra minute to double check your work. So what I'm going to do, since I think y equals 4, I'm going to substitute 4 in for y. I'm going to rewrite my equation. 8 times 4, so that represents my y, plus 16 equals 48. Okay, well, order of operations tells us to multiply first. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 16, well, that's 48. If both sides are equal, that means your answer checks out. And that's very important. If for some reason they were not equal, that means you may have made a mistake and you just go back and look at your look at your work, look at your thinking, and seeing if you could fix something. Okay, so that's your two-step equations, even though we added a couple more, but they're very important. So just take it one step at a time, take your time on these, and always remember to check your work. Good luck.